Okay, today we're gonna, be painting this midsole. Um, Teach you how to paint that midsole using angelus white leather acrylic paint. You can get this online at turtlefeathers.com. Um, can't really get a good look at that. Um, so yeah, you can get that online at turtlefeathers.com. Okay, so first step, and the first how-to video was using acetone to remove the paint from the midsole. And we use painter's tape all around the edge, of where we want to paint. I am today, and on this project, I'm just doing the white part of the midsole. So you can see it goes white to black, and I'm not touching this black. So taping on the black is fine. Taping on the leather part is fine. The cement print, that's all okay. Um, so I want to tape it up, and I want it to be really crisp. That's a huge part of this project. Um, if I don't get it like perfect, then I'm gonna have spaces with too much paint or not enough, and it's just not gonna look professional. So I stripped down all the paint using acetone. That was in the first video. Check that one out if you haven't seen it. And now I'm keeping the tape around. You can take the tape off and make sure you got all the paint off. But if you think that you got it all off and you don't need to go back, then keep the tape on as long as it's still on there tight. You don't want there to be any holes, because you don't want to get any white paint on the black paint, the leather, the cement print. You know what I mean? You don't want to mess with that. So before we paint, we're just gonna go to a shoe that I already finished, and you could tell that all in here is really crisp. I took my time. All up in here is really crisp. There's no there's no mistakes. And if I did make a mistake, I'll just go back with I could take a Q-tip with a little bit of acetone, and I could just slightly rub on the shoe where I need to, like on the where I messed up or something, to take it off. You don't want to press too hard, because if you do, it'll take off the paint you're trying to remove and the coat underneath that, which in this case would be black, or the cement print. And we don't want to touch, mess with that, because that's another, after that it's another project. So if you're working in a hard to reach spot, you might want to break the Q-tip in half, so you have just this, and this almost works as like a pencil. You just dip the end of this in acetone, the non-furry part, or whatever you want to call it, so this part, and you just want to go in there with a little bit of acetone, and you kind of just pretend that you have a pencil, and get in the creases, wherever that is, and it should work perfectly. So this shoe is done. You just check out this midsole. It was pretty, it was chipped a lot, and now it almost looks, something like a dead stock shoe. That's what everyone wants. You want to be able to wear your shoes, clean them up, nice and fresh. Got a nice new pair without dropping hundreds of dollars. Okay, so painting the midsole. Got this. Got the shoe all prepped. Have our paint, our leather, our leather acrylic leather paint. So we're gonna unscrew this. I'm not gonna paint the whole shoe right now. Just give you a little sample. So you wanna get all the you don't want there to be a ton of paint on the brush when you're painting, because then it'll just be really clumpy. And you want to do 3 or 4 layers depending on the whiteness you want. The first layer you go through, it's not going to be very white, and you're going to be able to see the paint strokes. So all of that is fine. It's basically like a base coat, you know what I mean? You just need to get it down there on the shoe, and you probably can't even tell what I just did. But you got to go slowly. You have to take your time, because if you want to do a good job, you know what I mean, you have to take your time, unless you're professional and extremely good at this. So I just did a small little area, and every once in a while you'll get a thing of paint on here that's just like clustered on, and it's really annoying. So you kind of just have to keep painting paint over it, and hopefully it comes off. If not, you gotta just kind of poke at it. Just got a little piece on there. And you basically just gotta go through all the way around the shoe. Let the shoe dry, obviously, in between applying coats. And I don't know if right now, but you can see just in here and above my finger, I applied the first layer. And right up here, you can tell it's dirty, and right up in here, it's a little dirty. That's just what used to be under the original white paint. So this right here is just a base coat, and obviously it's gonna be looking a lot nicer, kind of like these, after I'm done. So that is how to pretty much go through and painting a midsole. Hope that helped you. Shout out to Nike Talk. Shout out to Drama Crew. Alright, thank you. Subscribe, watch the movies. Thanks.